Is Illinois growing or shrinking? A question that seems to be continued debate despite reports after reports after reports showing that Illinois is losing population. Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday in New York, he reiterated what he said at Harvard University, and that was to a question that a Illinois resident said who's going to school in Harvard. Here's how that played out at Harvard University last week.
Hi, Governor. My name is Abhi, and I'm a sophomore at the college from Bloomingdale in DuPage County. My father moved to the state 18 years ago and set up a small business. Illinois is really the only home I know, although I was born in California. A lot of people complain, as you know. But when they're really fed up, they vote with their feet, right? And by that metric, last year, 140,000 Illinoisans made the hard decision to get up and leave the state. Among the reasons cited, as you know, are high property taxes, high sales taxes, and as you mentioned, unpopular proposed income taxes, increases in income taxes. So when people like my father and my family are faced with the decision of downsizing and selling the family business or leaving the state, what do you have to say to them?
Well, let me contend that the data that you just cited is wrong. Let me talk about population in the state of Illinois.
Well, I'll give you kind of the somewhat Reader's Digest here. The governor says that he believed that population was declining in Illinois when he was running for governor initially in 2018, and then in taking office 2019, said he was going to try to reverse population decline, and then we get the U.S. Census, the 10-year decennial census, and Illinois lost a seat in Congress. And then after annual estimates of, at first it was 20,000 people 9 years ago, and then it was 40,000 people 8 years ago, and then it was 60,000 people, and then it's turned into more than 100,000 people a year leaving the state of Illinois. And those were estimates, but when you get the decennial census, the 10-year count that's used for appropriation of the congressional seats across the country, Illinois lost a seat in Congress because we lost 18,000 people. But then a post-enumeration survey came out that indicated that they overcounted some states and undercounted others. They claimed to have undercounted Illinois by nearly 2%, and that was a post-enumeration survey, but that did not change Illinois' population. We still have, according to the U.S. Census, 12.6 million people. That's down from 12.8 million people 10 years earlier in the decennial census. So the governor says that the census is wrong, and even Democratic U.S. Representative Raja Krishnamurthy out of Schaumburg, he sent a letter to the U.S. Census late last month with, quote, ongoing concerns surrounding the repeated undercounting of Illinois. He said that this latest release's claim from the counties, where Cook County lost 68,000 people last year, appears to echo past census data that drove misleading narratives and rhetoric surrounding purported population losses in Illinois, according to Raja Krishnamurthy. He noted that he's sent the census multiple letters asking about the updates and whether or not there's going to be a, quote, possible change in the potential adjustments to the Illinois census. But that's not happened. And State Senator Andrew Chesney, he shared some of his thoughts yesterday on this idea of Illinois losing population. Here's what he had to say at an unrelated event yesterday when asked about where Democrats have it wrong if they say Illinois is growing.
Well, I don't think that it's largely disputed that Illinois is competing at the bottom. What part of the bottom we're at is going to always be debated, but it isn't like we're in a state that is seeing robust growth. So if we lost some population, gained a little population, I know we lost a congressional district, so I don't think that there's really much dispute that Illinois is losing something. To the extent of that loss, I guess the Democrats can debate that, but that's largely just for political popularity. That has nothing to do with the state of Illinois and, the dire need we are for small businesses to want to come and stay here, and for our youth to want to stay here as well. And so we've seen an out-migration of a lot of people, and to the extent of that, I guess they can debate. But certainly when you put us up against our neighbors, I don't think that we're faring well, and I think that the data would support that.
And that was Republican State Representative Andrew Chesney sharing his thoughts in reaction to Democrats continuing to deny population decline. But even Republican State Senator Win Stoller from Peoria, he highlighted the problems he sees with population decline in the states and how it's impacting businesses in Illinois and whether or not they want to stay in Illinois.
Yeah, we have to start sending signals to businesses around the country that Illinois is welcoming for businesses. I recently saw a study that had $47 billion plus investments in new plants. This was car manufacturers, batteries, pharmaceuticals, semiconductor plants. Illinois got 0 of them. This was since 2021, new announced investments. We got 0 of them. And I look at it even from personally, my son is an engineer, lives in Tennessee, works for electric vehicle manufacturer Volkswagen in Chattanooga. Chattanooga used to be the same size as my hometown of Peoria. Now it's double the size. And Tennessee is a state that has no income tax. It has a property tax, approximately a third of that in Illinois. And we need to start sending signals that Illinois is open for business. And if we pass my bill, eliminating the franchise tax, or the other bills we discussed today, that starts getting the message out that Illinois is a welcoming state. And right now, we're not sending those signals.
So are we growing or shrinking? I guess that debate continues with Republicans pointing to the obvious that businesses are fleeing the states and populations fleeing the states, but Democrats continue to deny that and ask the U.S. Census for revisions. I don't know if that's going to bring back a seat in Congress as Illinois continues to lose influence in the U.S. Congress with yet another congressional seat lost.